I mean, your big thing when you ran was UBI.
Yep.
Which is not a bowel problem. It sounds like it. I always think.
I know, we had a branding thing.
It's universal basic income, right? Which is sort of what we did during COVID, okay? So where are you now? I mean, I see I don't get your third party because I read your website, and it's a bunch of mush. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying it's not like specific. It doesn't even mention this. And why start a third party, which is a long shot anyway, if you're not going to be bold and what?
Oh, I'd love to dig into this.
Please do.
Yeah. So what I determined was that our current political system is not going to address poverty or climate change or polarization unless you actually fix the incentives. And it was a US senator who said this to me, and everyone needs to understand this. She said, we're at a point in American life where an issue is worth more to us unaddressed than addressed. Because if I lean forward to solve the problem, what happens? I get beat up by my base, my job security goes down, I get attacked. Right. So we're in a no compromise zone. So if you wanted to, let's say, alleviate poverty in America, you have to fix our democratic system. This two-party system is not designed to deliver solutions.
I just have to...
Okay, but again, that's...
I just have to say, so I'm not 100% sure how a different party, I mean, you have to explain how that's going to change the whole system. But here's the thing. If you have a senator, as someone who's running for Senate, if you have a senator who's saying, the incentives are wrong, so I can't do the right thing, that's the problem, not the fact that we need another party. It's that you have people who won't take risks. You have people who are going to put their reelection over anything else, who are worried from a primary from their left or for right, 100%. But if you put people who are brave in those places, if you put people who are saying, like, look, if I don't win my next election, no one dies, I can go on, I'll find another job, then you actually see the incentives change because then they want to do the right thing. That is part of why our government doesn't work. It sometimes is people.
So look, Alyssa, first, I love what you're saying, but there was a guy in Michigan who bravely voted to impeach Donald Trump at great personal risk, Peter Maher, and he lost his seat in part because Democrats boosted his extremist challenger because that challenger was going to be easier to beat in the general. We have an incentive system right now. If you step up like Peter did or Adam Kinzinger or Liz Cheney, you're out of there. And so there are people that see this and say, okay, I get it. But the way out is to do what they did in Alaska, which is why Lisa Murkowski is the only Republican senator who voted to impeach Donald Trump, who made it back and was up for re-election in 22. You know why? Because they got rid of the party primaries in Alaska. That's why Sarah Palin lost to Mary Peltola. That's why Lisa Murkowski beat Kelly Tshibaka, the Trump-endorsed loony, who would have beaten her in a Republican primary. You get rid of the primaries, you fix the incentives, and that's what the Forward Party is designed to do.
I would just say that I think it's one thing to have that conversation at a state level, and I'm not against having that kind of primary, right? There's not a different party there. There's not a third party that they're part of. It's a different primary system. But when you're talking about a third party, like I like math, right? And I want to make sure that if we have a third party, that if we have a third party, that it's not going to be handing the country over to people who are extreme, who have fascist leanings. Like, I want to make sure that we do. I'm not the last person to say that the Democratic Party is perfect, trust me. But I'm just concerned that a third party means we're handing the country over to people who do not have good intentions for democracy.
And what about the issue, though? I mean, if you're going to start the third party, don't you at least have to have one major issue? And I thought you had one. This UBI thing, universal basic income. Everybody gets free money. Whether you believe it or not, it's an idea. When you look at the poverty levels, I mean, it's some big story came out last week, how the poverty levels haven't changed that much in 50 years from what there was something like 12.5 in 1970, and now it's 10.8, or I don't know what but it's very close. After we threw like $16 trillion at the problem, and it's only going to get worse with
GPT.
Yeah. I saw this.
Totally.
Listen to this. Here are 3 jobs, they say, that were replaced by the new AI. Financial analysts, advisors, and bankers. We figured out the banking problem. This is how we kill them off.
AI is getting smarter while we're getting dumber. It's true. We can all see it. A friend of mine, Tristan Harris, puts it this way. We have primordial brains, medieval institutions, and godlike technology. It's a
Right.
very bad combination. So if you look at what we can do to alleviate poverty, the biggest thing we did recently, Bill, was the Enhanced Child Tax Credit 2021. Helped lift millions of American kids out of poverty. And what happened? It elapsed. And that was in part because the two parties could not come together and deliver it. The incentive structure to get rid of poverty is what I'm hell-bent on trying to fix. And 62% of Americans know that this system needs a different dynamic, because right now the two sides are just going to go like this while we wonder what happened to the country.
I feel like Biden this week is sort of pivoting to the center. I mean, he said when he was campaigning that he would not drill ever, never in Alaska, and now he said he's going to drill in Alaska.
All right, it's time to get a little controversial. I think that
good.
there should be a.
I was hoping it would come before the end of the
Please,
show.
yeah. I think that there should be a competitive primary in the Democratic Party. I think that Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan should run. I think that Gavin Newsom here in California should run. I think J.B. Pritzker, Illinois, should run. Joe Biden said in 2020, I am here to be a bridge to the next generation. That is what he should be at this moment. And if he were to go down this road, he would be now this George Washington level statesman. He gets rid of Trump, he gets some great things done, and then he says it's time to give it to the next generation. And then we would all be loving on Joe. Joe, please, head this direction. If he does not, then we are punting on this entire succession challenge, and it could emerge at a very inopportune time. In my opinion, there are very, very real risks going down the road that it seems like we're going down.
But you're not even rooting for that party anymore, right? You're the forward party. You're not the Democratic Party anymore.
I'm pro-civilization, Bill. I'm pro-civilization, and I'm anti-extremism. And people who think that the Forward Party is somehow going to enable extremists have not dug into anything we've actually done. We've endorsed good people, like, frankly, Alyssa, against folks who want to do the democracy harm.
Pro-civilization.
Yeah.
So you're for good things and against bad.
Yep.
I knew I could find the specifics in your plan if I tried it hard enough. All right, thank you, two. Very enlightening.